All right, let's react to this clip from whatever podcast.
Do you object to men caring about a woman's body count? Do you think it's immature?
Yes.
You do object?
I object with everyone thinking that a body count is necessary.
Do you think body count doesn't
What
matter?
do you mean necessary?
I just think it's immature.
Okay. We'll come back to that, but let's go around the table, get everybody's answer. What about you? Do you object to men caring about a woman's body count?
No, they should. They absolutely should care about a woman's body count.
Okay. All right. Okay. What about you?
So yes, it does matter, and mine is 12.
Oh, okay. There you go. 12. Okay.
I won't answer the number part, but I think that where, like, I don't think it does matter in a way where it's like, because it matters to other people, it matters to me. You know, but I don't personally think there's anything wrong either way. But I know there are statistics that show, like, people have different ability to be in long-term relationships, and that's correlated to their body count, and that's true, you know, but that's also a statistic, and it's not a person.
Kiki? Okay.
My body count is 10, and in addition to that, I don't necessarily think it's the most important thing to, like, regard and everything, but I do think having an open conversation once in a while is fine, especially in a real relationship as opposed to a hookup.
Sure.
I commend them for saying their body count. I'll give them that. But this is the thing, right? They seem very relatively young. Must be early 20s. 10 is decent for early 20s. I mean, it's nothing special nowadays. But it's only going to increase, and they're not looking to settle down anytime soon. So this could triple by 30. The other one could triple by 30 as well.
Okay.
I get why people care.
Do you not care? Like, do you not care about the
no,
girl's
I
body
would
count?
like to say, like, oh, it's immature. I don't think it's necessary. But if I'm just honest with myself, like, I just don't want to know.
You don't wanna know.
Yeah, because I will judge it if I know it.
That is, I gotta say, that is a lot of men's mentality, right? They essentially not gonna ask. No man asks for body count, right? But we'll continue. But it's not about asking for body count. It's other ways, but it correlates to body count, right? That's my thought process to it. But we'll see what they talk about, and if they mention it, I'll explain more.
So I would never ask a girl I'm dating of it
I mean,
because
that's a fair
I just
point.
clearly do not want to
But
know.
wouldn't you rather
Oh.
take the red pill and know the truth?
Yeah.
Because it's like
I
that.
know.
That's.
But that's where jealousy
Knowing can
comes
be
in
troublesome, you know, because people do change and people
Give me
are-
the truth. I think give me the truth.
I know. Well, for most things I do. Most things I want the truth. I need the truth. I'm a big truth guy. I think for body counts because one, I've been very reckless in my young life with it, and I spent a lot of my life being an alcoholic. So my body count is very high that I'm not proud of in hindsight.
No way.
And then also the people, I know that I might hypocritically put my judgments on the girl, so I just can't hear it. I can't hear it because I will judge it. So it's better to just not know for me personally.
Dude, I just want to let you know that is simp-like behavior.
What is?
It's really not. It's just maturity.
It is.
Really
It's
just-
really simp-like behavior.
Whenever
to
you
say,
respect a woman,
I'm
they say it's
afraid
just
that I will be judged. Or in your particular case, you're saying, I don't want to know because if I do know, I might take a negative outlook, right? But
Yes.
that's the whole point. Is
Yes.
we want you to take a negative outlook based on that, and the fact that you don't is one of the big problems that we're having in society. That's the
What?
point.
Yeah. What problems? Because I think that body count is also not indicative of a person at all because sometimes
At all.
things happen.
Well, let me explain why
can't
it's a problem.
change it.
To answer your question. The reason that it's a problem is because what it allows is it allows promiscuity to kind of operate unfettered. Okay, so what happens by men not producing judgment on women who are very loose women or have sex with many partners under the guise of I
What
don't
is
want to
loose?
know. It actually encourages women to do this behavior because they feel like there'll be no societal or social repercussions. That's the problem.
I don't think that everyone should just like have sex all the time with whoever all the time. Like I think that can be dangerous for a person. But also I think it needs to be considered that
That
it's
has
not
nothing
always
to do with what I just said. Can you answer to what I just said?
I don't think she understands.
What I
it.
was
So
going.
what I said specifically is that the reason this is such a problem is because if you don't use the shame tactic for women in society for being highly promiscuous, then what ends up happening is that you
I do admit, right? As time 2023, there's no shame in society anymore. Okay, unless you go against leftist ideology, right? They will shame the shit out of you. But there's no shame for the old traditional things, right? Like high body count. No man, society's not gonna shame you, right? They're gonna say, go ahead, go have sex with other men, do OFs, show your body, all that stuff. There's no shame in that anymore. And I think that has been a detriment to women, especially in long-term committed relationships. Now, because you gotta think, right? That has affected men's mindset, right? Where they see women as now purely sexual creatures, right? The creation, the hookup culture, stuff like that. Well, that's the results of it, right? No shame, just a whole lot of sex, or just an image of women just wanting sex.
creates an open license for them to be highly promiscuous because the way that they operate in society is based heavily around judgment. So women tend to trend towards what society judges as being appropriate or inappropriate. So if they think this is appropriate and there's no repercussions, they'll do it. And that's exactly the
I
trend
don't
we
think
see
it's
right now. Can you
appropriate.
answer to that?
1000%
Jesus Christ, this guy's got
Where
a
we
hard
disagree
line.
is that
So true.
there's a difference
Jesus.
between thinking that promiscuity is appropriate or that promiscuity is okay and a body count being okay. Because a body count is history. Promiscuity.
It's proxy for promiscuity.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
that is
Let me
what do you
finish.
mean?
Can
History
I
of
finish
being
one?
promiscuous.
Okay, go ahead. Finish your point.
Not everyone gets to choose their body count.
What?
True.
What does that
What?
mean?
She's-
means
What in the
people
world
get-
does that mean?
You know, I know what
I
you're
wasn't gonna
saying.
say it,
I know what you're saying.
I don't.
The reality is though, women who have high body counts, it's not typically because the hundreds. Say a girl's been with 100 men.
Okay.
Her body count's 100. What percentage would you attribute that to? And I know what you're getting at, to SA.
It's not even
One, maybe?
necessarily that. But
Also, I
there's
don't think you
also-
would count that as a body, to be
I don't
honest.
think so.
I don't
that's
even
not.
think that that's where she was going.
Also, when it comes to body count, let's just even remove that off the table. Consensual body count. Let's say that.
There's like a kind of a line though, because like while men want to judge a body count, they're also going to be really quick to try to get any women in their vicinity to hook up with them. And like if a woman says no the first time and then like gets pressured a little bit more, that happens with most.
Oh, I
Men I
see.
talked
So
to.
women don't have agency. I got it.
That's
Yeah,
not true.
it's not
Yeah.
about like actually being like held down. Like it's you just are
So you don't have the
manipulated.
agency to say no.
kind of, yeah.
That's ridiculous. Why don't you have the agency to say no?
I think that as a system,
It's just, this is the thing, right? Women are the worst perpetuator of. One, they say women are like women. Feminism or all women saying that, oh, you're strong, you're independent, you go girl. But they are the first one to essentially call other women stupid, weak, and natural victims by the words that they use. They don't think about it, right? They don't think, oh, I'm not calling this woman weak, but you are essentially calling it, right? You are essentially calling women too immature, too stupid to actually consent to anything because they're so easily manipulated by men. You could be 23, you could be 25, and yet you still are so easily manipulated by men that you are not truly consenting to anything because men are manipulating you, right, into saying yes. So you're essentially saying that women are so, stupid that they're easily manipulated. That's what you're essentially saying. And on the flip side, they call themselves smart. They call themselves strong, independent. Yet they still do this stuff. And they don't understand it. Like, the hypocrisy of women, right? It's like, are you strong, independent? Are you your own women? Or are you still easily manipulated by men?
society
get violent.
we have a kind of culture where like I know bad things, like I have, there's bad outcomes when you do that, and like society has like literally conditioned women to be more okay and more susceptible to that.
So this is perfect. So this leads right into my point, which is that if we as a society use shame tactics or open tactics for what we want to see as the outcome in society, then you're actually making my point for me, which is that you feel like society rewards these high pressure tactics. And what I'm saying is that we as a society should not reward women for promiscuity. We should reward them for saying no, and so they'll say no more. This way, in this particular way, both sides win, right? So the whole goal is to bring down promiscuity.
I think that the focus should be shifted a little bit, not towards the people that fall victim to
That are
towards
responsible, the people that are responsible.
Men and
this.
women.
Both parties are responsible is the thing.
No, not
A
really.
man is
because
responsible
women,
for
they're
his
not,
body
They're
count.
not. Hang on. Let me just correct this, and then I'll let you speak. They're not responsible. Women are the gatekeepers of sex, not men. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. They've always been the gatekeepers of sex, and they always will. Most men were not even able to procreate. Historically, only a small percentage of them were, because women are the gatekeepers of sex. So no, both parties are not responsible. One party is really responsible.
Well, what you're saying is I need to have an ability to say no to someone.
Yes.
A guy in my same position, he's saying yes. Why is
So,
no one talking about him
What does
saying
that have
yes?
to do with
He's saying
you
yes,
saying
yes,
no?
yes
Stop
every single
using
time.
So
Stop using the female martial art, what about the mendo, and instead use your own form of argumentation and say this is a bad behavior in women without sourcing what about men.
What's your body
Talk about
type?
the behavior in women.
Sorry about that, right? Sorry about that. This is the thing, right? We constantly do this, right? Like the baby mamas, you know, the single mother thing, right? What about the men? What about the men? I always say, right? You have to tell people, do you believe every single person on earth are good people? Most likely no, right? So, out there are good people, there are bad people, and there are a spectrum of in between. End of the day, all you can do is control yourself. You can't control other people. Okay? So, the only thing you can do if you could only control yourself, and there's bad people out there, is you dictate what you do. When you interact with these bad people, okay? When you interact with, let's say, manipulative men, right? Manipulative, whatever. When you interact with bad men, all you can do is control yourself, hoping that this man, right, that you interact with is a good man, or that he will change, or that he will, you know, be some kind of amazing man, is naive and stupid. Okay? What you can do is control yourself and how you interact with these type of men. That's it. So it's not about, oh, what if, this is why I said, it's not holding men accountable, because, and again, women choose if they want to interact with these men or not. So, women, it's about holding women accountable, because you don't need to interact with these men.
Ability.
But can I give the okay?
What's your body count?
Can I
Mine?
just
Yeah.
Let's say it was 4 million. What would that have to do with my point?
That's like dangerous and like that. I don't think that's okay. Like I don't think that's good for you. Like I think
Well, you
that
just got done saying nobody even has responsibility for it. It's not even a big deal. Now it's not okay if mine's 4 million?
no, I'm saying that like it does matter. I'm saying that I agree with you that no one should be as promiscuous as they want. But I'm just saying when it's at 4 million, it's kind
yeah.
of.
He was being facetious.
I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a
But if it's
point
at
to you,
100,
which is
if it's
that
at 100,
regardless of how high
Don't
it
be
is, nowhere near as
condescending.
high as yours, but regardless of how high it is, it wouldn't really matter to the point. The point is that women are the gatekeeper of sex, and simps who say, I don't care about how many sexual partners you've had,
No, I said I don't
actually
wanna know.
add to the problem of promiscuity in society. That's it. So what I'm saying is that these things follow each other.
I was saying I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. That's all.
Yeah, I know, but we need you
But-
to say you do want to know because
Yeah.
that's part of the problem that you don't. That's
I don't want to know.
But also to her point,
I don't think they're going to touch on it, right? So I'm going to say this, right? I understand men saying that they don't want to know. But I also get that you essentially should want to know. I understand that too. Because look at this, right? It's not about the body count per se. It's not about, oh, she had sex with 10, she had sex with 100. Okay? It is the everything that comes along with that. Imagine this, right? A woman that's so desensitized that she's had sex with 100 men, and now you're the 101. So what are you? Are you going to marry this woman, right? Are you going to marry her? Are you commit to her? Because you got to think now. Wow, I'm 101, the 101th man that she's had sex with. So most likely, am I able to compete with the 100 of men that she's done it with? And you hear this, right? You hear this in like marriages, right? A lot of divorces where they leave their man because they're not satisfied. Okay? They're not satisfied. The husband can't satisfy them. And this happens a lot. Okay? So now that's one thing where now you have so much past that a man maybe not even compared to. And this is the thing. Also, psychologically, right? A woman that's been through 100 men, let's say half of those men were breakups, or maybe even a quarter of those, 25 men, right, were breakups. Breakups don't make you a healthier, more mentally stable person. No, it actually chips away at your brain. It chips away at your personality, right? Chips away at your heart. So you have walls, right? You are now a harder person to deal with in whatever way it be, right? You might be argumentative, might be just hard to please, right? You might be untrustworthy. You might not trust the person or untrustworthy yourself. So it's a lot of personality, right? Because if a woman has been with so many men, okay, one, she's not that selective, okay? And now, two is that it affects a woman psychologically. Let's say even a little bit, right? But after 100 partners, that little has to have been like so big, right? So that's the thing where people don't understand that and this is the thing where it's funny with women where they talk about, vibe or soul ties or all these connections, these chemistries, right? They're so spiritual. So you spiritually connected with 100 different men. I mean, like, that's gotta affect you mentally. I mean, there's very, very few women that's been with so many men, yet it doesn't affect her at all. That's also concerning, right? So this is the thing where it's not necessarily, she's been with 100 men. Is that she's been with 100 men and she must have most likely come out of it having problems, right? Instability or some kind of, mental problems that makes it hard for now another man that now fall in love with her and want to commit with her. That's the thing.
like,
take.
take the scenario of, like, earlier you guys said that men are stronger than women, right? Like,
Yes.
physically.
Yes.
So if you're in a situation where, say you're on like a first Tinder date, let's just put the scenario out there. You've never met this man, it's like a hookup type thing. You kind of don't want to hook up with him, but a man is stronger. So if you're going to say no,
Sorry, go on.
if you're going to say no and a man is over you being like, well, I want to do this, as a woman, because we are technically weaker than men, like physically, it is scary to say no because a man can literally take over you and be like, I'm going to do this anyway.
Can I respond to that? Can I
That's
just ask a
okay.
quick
So
question?
wait,
let's
hang on.
let's
I
let Andrew
gotta
go.
ask. I gotta ask this real quick.
Go ahead.
What you're actually saying there is the reason that you say yes to a man being persistent about sex is because you're afraid that he's going to SA you.
Sometimes,
if
yes.
yeah, but that's ridiculous.
Why?
Clearly,
It's
well,
not
because
ridiculous.
clearly you have tons and tons of sexual suitors, and you must say no to them all the time.
What?
You can not be
What
around
do you
men
no,
that-
don't do the what? That just answer to what I'm saying.
That's not even
Clear.
anything
Do you
I
have a
said.
ton of sexual suitors? Yes or no?
No.
You don't?
No.
No. Okay. So you're the one woman on planet Earth who
Okay.
doesn't have a lot of men who are in your DMs, things like this, who are trying to pursue some kind of
Okay.
relationship with you.
Okay, so what's your point?
That you
Okay,
can have
so
sex
you
with a lot of
do,
people.
and you just lied to me, right?
Your point is that I could message a man and say I want to have sex with you. That is true.
No, his point is that you say no to men. This is the thing where women is like, so certain men that you're afraid of certain men, but other men you're not, right? This is the thing where she essentially said that, oh, women say yes to men because they're scared of them. Okay, but there are plenty of men that women say no to. So are you scared of them or are you not? This is the delusion and hypocrisy of women. How can you honestly say that you're scared of men, right? You're scared of men essaying you, right? And you have to say yes to these men. Yet on the same token, you have said no to plenty of men. That is the delusion. How can you be both afraid of men and can reject men at the same time? It don't make sense.
True.
No,
But
my
that
point
doesn't-
is to say that you obviously, like most women who are online and have some kind of online presence, are probably propositioned tons and tons of times by men all the time. And you have some kind of way in which you probably politely rebuff them and don't even put yourself in that situation,
Okay.
correct?
Can I talk
Correct.
about that? It's actually crazy because I, for a really, 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 really long time, would just not ever be alone with a man that I didn't want to have sex with, just
Yeah.
in case, so I would never have to say no. Tried it once. Hissy fit. Yelling at me. He yelled at me to get out. After talking
Yeah.
about blue balls, talking about all of this. Like,
So he didn't SA you? He just told you to get out?
I don't like being. I'm just saying, men like that.
You
need
don't
to
lie. I
take
mean, you
some
may not like
accountability.
it, right? But this goes to a whole different point than if I said no, I would be SA'd. It sounds like you said no and he threw you out. That's a whole different thing, right?
My point is not that the number of bodies you have equals the amount of time you were SA'd. My point is that people get scared to say no because there can be consequences, and the severity of those consequences.
But the answer for fear shouldn't
Can I
be
please
sex,
make
or,
a comment?
you should. There's many ways you. I don't subscribe to anything of like, well, I felt the pressure, so I tell my sisters and my nieces that it's like yeah, he's gonna call you a bitch or something, but like you don't. The answer isn't just going along with.
But see that for her is like, this is the thing where it is. I can't believe women can't see the hypocrisy in it. You're scared. See, this is the thing, right? You're scared to say no because of the fear of being SA'd. Yet you've said no plenty and haven't been SA'd. So it's like, that's the ridiculous of it. Where women just don't understand. You obviously know you can't say no to a lot of men. It's just, but women want to paint out, oh, I'm the victim. I'm scared, so I can't say no. But yet I have said no. It's like, this is the thing, this is the narrative, right? Where women paint that men are so evil. Like, every single man I talk to is going to essay me. Every single man I talk to is going to do a crime against me. Okay, well, then it just is, it's like, that way of thinking is so harmful, right? And it's so counterproductive. You don't understand what you're doing to yourself and to the women around you, because that narrative, right? Now this is the feminist ideology that they are sprouting out, right? That all men are dangerous, all men are criminals, all men will SA you, and yet you still say no to men. You still want to date men. You still interact with men. It's like your life is essentially counterproductive to what you say. It's tiring sometimes, right? With a lot of women that you don't, and it's the thing, right? Women seem to not live in logic. They don't. They paint themselves out to be a victim, yet they also paint themselves to be so strong and independent. Okay? I think it's just ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous a lot of times. Alright. So, that was cool with the... I don't know. I'm sorry. What do you guys think?